Well, here we are below decks. I'm sitting on the port quarter berth. Obviously the starboard quarter berth's over there then. In this view you can see the daggerboard trunk. Daggerboard's inside here. And the cable used to raise and lower the daggerboard. Also use this for storage of all manner of rigging knives, rigging tape, spare bungees, sail ties, whatever. Keeps them up there organized and out of the way. Over here we have our propane stove bungeed up against the side of the daggerboard case to keep it out of the way. By the way, we never store propane cylinders below decks here. Propane cylinders are always stored outside in the cockpit footwell. Propane fumes are heavier than air and could collect down here and be set off by any spark. Out in the cockpit footwell, any fumes that leak will drain off through the cockpit scuppers. Our galley area is over here. We'll hear more about that later. We have one of our 2 fire extinguishers mounted here, our paper towel rack up here in the bulkhead, our electrical panels over here, and up here out of sight is one of our 12-volt cabin lights. Now that covers this side. Let's move on to the starboard side now. Well, through the magic of digital videography, we're now on the starboard side of the main cabin of Ternabout. On this bulkhead we've got our second fire extinguisher mounted, our clock, thermometer, barometer, and a storage area for our cassette tapes. Normally this area in here would be used for the porta potty, but on Ternabout we use that as a hanging locker. We've installed a standard closet rod across the top, and we use these plastic non-rusting clothes hangers to store our spare life jackets and clothing. Down here we've got a bungee loop. All we did was to drill 2 holes in the far bulkhead, thread a piece of bungee through each hole, knot it, and the loop down here just snaps around a standard stainless steel hammock hook. Pop the loop off and you can get at whatever you've got stored in here. We store our screens, drop boards, camp stools, and whatever here. And again, just snap it back over the hammock hook and it retains everything there quite nicely. On a boat the size of Ternabout, it isn't so much a matter of if, but when, water will eventually find its way below. We depend upon plastic storage containers like these to maintain dry storage. We keep canned goods, clothing, and even our spare parts and fittings in containers like these. This is Ternabout's spare parts bin. I've got paint brushes, Velcro, tape, spare fittings of all sorts in here. Things that I want to keep dry, out of the way, but accessible. We use larger containers like these to store our clothes in. We usually throw in a cedar block or a bag of cedar chips to keep the clothing fresh and the moths away. Again, the tops simply snap in place, and the smaller containers interlock in the lids of the larger ones to keep them from sliding off into the bilge. And we just push them back in the quarter berth out of the way.